The Getaway, the grittiest cinematic crime drama that dropped back in 2002 for the PlayStation 2. It promised a Grand Theft Auto style open world experience, but with a unique British flair. A love letter to London, complete with crime, corruption, and questionable driving physics. But here we are, over 20 years later, asking what the hell happened to The Getaway? Why hasn't it received the recognition or the remake it deserves? Let's dive in. The Getaway was ahead of its time in many ways. Set in London, it followed two interweaving storylines. You played as Mark Hammond, an ex-gangster forced back into the criminal underworld when his wife is murdered and his son is kidnapped by crime lord Charlie Jolson. Meanwhile, Frank Carter, a no-nonsense cop, is investigating the same criminal empire. These stories collide in a way that felt like a proper crime thriller. Think Snatch meets Heat, but interactive. The game's cinematic ambition was its standout feature. No HUD, no loading screens during gameplay, and an almost obsessive focus on realism. Even the streets of London were recreated with incredible detail for the time. Soho, Piccadilly Circus, even side streets were all brought to life. It wasn't perfect, but it set the bar for how open world cities could feel authentic and alive. But let's be honest, The Getaway wasn't without its issues. The lack of a HUD was ambitious, but instead of a mini-map, you had to follow blinking indicators on your car's turn signal. Immersive? Yes. Frustrating? Absolutely. The combat mechanics were clunky with stiff animations and sluggish gameplay. Cover mechanics barely worked and the AI was, well, let's just say it wasn't winning any awards. Driving, let's say you spent half your time bouncing off the narrow streets of London. The cars felt more like tanks than cars. It was a game that made you work for your fun, but when it clicked, it was unforgettable. The tension, the atmosphere, it felt like you were starring in your own British crime movie. Now, here's the thing. The Getaway deserves a remake, not just a remaster. Imagine this, the same gritty story, but rebuilt with modern gameplay mechanics, driving physics, and AI that actually works. With today's tech, we could have a more detailed London, better animations, and more immersive storytelling. Games like Mafia Definitive Edition prove that there's a hunger for grounded crime dramas. And let's be honest, we haven't had a proper open world game set in London since, well, Watch Dogs Legions, and even that didn't hit. Plus, the crime genre is making a comeback. Look at the buzz surrounding GTA 6. A modern Getaway could offer a unique take, less satirical, more serious, and deeply rooted in its British identity. The time is now. So what happened? The sequel, The Getaway Black Monday, came out in 2004, but it didn't live up to the original. Critics said it lacked the charm and polish of its predecessor. Then there was the ill-fated PS3 follow-up, which was teased but ultimately cancelled by Sony. Why? Studio reconstructing? Shifting? Priorities? Who knows? But it's clear that The Getaway was left to gather dust while other franchises thrived. The Getaway was flawed but groundbreaking. It dared to do something different, blending cinematic storytelling with open world exploration in a way that we take for granted today. It's high time we revisit this gem. Sony, if you're listening, give us a remake, bring us back to London, give us that raw, gritty storytelling, and maybe, just maybe, fix those driving mechanics. But what do you think? Should The Getaway get a second chance, or is it better left in the past? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more deep dives into forgotten classics. Thanks for watching.